So that's it for the module. And this was a huge course section, of course, since we covered all the important fundamentals you need to know about Vue. We learned how interacting with the DOM works and how Vue manages templates to allow you to use certain Vue features which are then reflected on the actual page. You learned that Vue has this core idea of letting you define the goal rather than the individual steps, so that it follows that declarative approach where you define how your page should look like and which parts on the page might be dynamic, and you let then Vue figure out how to get there. Now, in order to let Vue do its job, you need to connect your Vue app, your Vue instance, to the actual HTML code with the mount method which you saw. Then you can use a CSS selector to select a part of the page and turn that part into the template of the Vue app, in which you then can use all these Vue features, like for example the data and event binding features you learned about. You learned that data can be output in that template, so in the controlled HTML code, by using the double curly brace syntax for this interpolation syntax to just output some text, which might change over time in a certain place of the page, or with the vbind directive to bind HTML attributes to some dynamic value. You also learned about this shorthand notation where instead of vbind : some attribute, you just have : some attribute to then bind that attribute to a dynamic value. And we of course cannot just output data, we can also listen to events with the von directive or the at shorthand notation. Now, these are the powerful core features Vue is all about, but in order to make these features really powerful and to make them more useful, we rely on Vue's built-in reactivity system. That simply means that Vue will update the real DOM whenever some data which you're outputting with vbind or double curly braces changes. And you learned that you can register data which might change in the data option of your Vue app, and that you can also work with computed properties and watchers to calculate results dynamically or to run some code whenever some data changes. And Vue watches the data for you, it automatically detects changes for you, and it will update the DOM and therefore what the user sees on the page whenever such changes are detected. Now that's the important foundation you need when working with Vue. But it's of course not just about outputting text or data. In web apps, we also of course want to make them look pretty, and that involves styling. And here, Vue also can help us with achieving dynamic styling, because we can of course also set CSS classes or inline styles dynamically with vbind. And you also learned that Vue has special syntaxes for classes and inline styles to help you assign dynamic styles, to make that easier for you with that object or array syntax I covered over the last lectures. Now, that's the foundation. It's of course not all you need to know, but it's the foundation for the rest of the course. And you will see the concepts taught in this course section throughout all other course sections. So make sure you understand this, go through the lectures which might not be clear to you at this point, and do the challenges and exercises I offer to you in the section so that you really know what these core concepts are all about.